Perri-Shakes Drayton, fresh from her historic double 400 metres and 400 metre hurdles at the World Trials at the weekend. We've got our leading male and female sprint hurdler in Andy Turner and Tiffany Ofili Porter. We've got the world record holder in the Paralympic discus in Dan Greaves, and also the British record holder in the discus in Lawrence Okoye. We'll hear from all of those in a moment. In terms of the format today, the usual affair, we'll do a few questions from the top table to start us off. Then any quick questions from the floor. We'll then break, broadcast one-to-ones, and also huddles for written media for whoever you might want to speak to. So without further ado, Perri, I think we'll start with you. I mentioned that historic double trials at the weekend. Can I ask how the legs are this week?
I'm feeling good at the moment. Obviously the day after, I was actually shattered. Rested yesterday, and today I'm going to be back on the track training, but something light. But I'm actually looking forward to competing this weekend at the Viva London Grand Prix. Obviously I'm going to be against the best in the world in the 400 metre hurdles. Just hoping to do my best, really.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly is the best. I mean, there are 8 women who've run faster than you this year. 4 of them you'll race this weekend. So have you set yourself a target for this particular race?
Really, I just wanted to execute my race well. As you know, in 400 metre hurdles, you do not want to start at any of the hurdles because it costs time. So, if anything, I just want to execute a good race and kind of be my last race, you know, before the World Championships.
At those World Championships, I mean, you're a second or so down on the leading leads at the moment. But is a place in the podium at the World Championships a realistic aim for you? Well,
to be in contention of getting a medal at the World Championships, I have to be running at like 53 seconds. I haven't run that this year, but you never know, it could come out. You know, my peaking stage may come when it comes to the World Championships. I've just got to go out there and do my best, really.
Just looking a little further afield, I mean, exactly a year today is the start of the athletics programme at London 2012. How difficult is it with the excitement building around that event to still focus on the big challenges that you've got ahead?
Yeah, it's exciting, you know, being a London girl myself, living around the corner. This is the closest I've actually been to the stadium. But I'm not actually thinking about the Olympics. I take every race as it comes. As you know, the big event this year for me is the World Championships. So after when that finishes, obviously, go back into training, and then you look forward to the Olympics.
Andy, moving on to you, no small challenge for you this weekend. The world record holder, Dion Robles, as well as the fastest man in the world this year, David Oliver. What's your targets for this weekend, please?
I love racing those guys. Obviously, they are ahead of me. I have to race those guys. I have to, use the fact that they are ahead of me to drag me onto quick time. So, I'm looking to just improve race to race and try and close that gap. And hopefully, by the time debut comes, that the gap will be a lot closer. But as we know in hurdles, anything can happen. I raced day one in Barcelona a couple of weeks ago, and he was only maybe a yard ahead, and he smashed the hurdle, and that was his race over. So anything can happen, but as long as you're in contention with those guys, then I think a medal is not. I'm going there targeting a medal. So
it must be a fun event to be part of at the moment. When you throw Zhang into the mix, arguably, the most exciting event in the sport right now. So for you personally, to be involved in that clearly is a big motivating factor.
Yeah, I've never been in a race with the 3 of them. It'd be good if the final in debut had all those 3 guys and myself in the mix as well. All of those guys can run 12.8, and it's a phenomenal time. So like I say, they're the kind of guys that I need to be racing week in, week out to help me. I think the fact that I've trained with David quite a lot, raced him quite a lot, and he kind of helps me, bring me on to faster times. I'm actually training with David this afternoon, so we'll see how that goes.
It'll help this weekend having a full house and a home crowd to roll you on.
Yep, I do my weights at Crystal Palace, so I'm familiar with the place. I love the meet. The crowd is phenomenal. really get behind the British athletes, and we always get the biggest cheer on the start line, which you might not think is a big factor, but when you get that big cheer, it really kind of spurs you on and gives you an extra bit of fire. I can't wait to Friday night. Just get out there and try my best.
Tiffany, moving on to you, a lot of talk before the trials on the weekend was of your head-to-head against Jess Ennis, so it must have been massively encouraging to win the race so convincingly.
Yeah, I was very encouraged with my results this weekend. I was excited to be crowned the new UK champion for this year.
Yeah. Again, much like Andy, a really strong race for you this weekend, including Sally Pearson, the world leader. Would it strike a significant psychological blow to beat some of these girls ahead of the World Championships?
Yeah, like Andy said, anything can happen in the hurdles. I go into every competition confident and looking to win, no matter who I'm racing. So that's what my focus would be this weekend, to go out and execute my race and to just do my very best.
Yeah. Andy touched on the welcome for the home athletes that they always get at Crystal Palace. And having been a British citizen all your life, it must be really exciting to actually finally go to Crystal Palace and get that home welcome as a home athlete.
Absolutely, I cannot wait. I'm very excited for this weekend, and I really hope the home crowd does serve as a motivational factor to just do my very best.
So moving on to you, a bit of a first for you this weekend, competing in the same event as able-bodied athletes. You've done that at national level, I understand, but never on a global stage before.
No, this is a fantastic opportunity for me. The only other person that's ever done this is Oscar Pistorius, obviously guesting in me and competing against able-bodied guys in the 400 metres. So for me to be up against the likes of Lawrence, who's done fantastically well to break such a long-standing British record, but also the Olympic champion in Gerd Cantor and the past Olympic champion in Alekna, it's like a dream come true. And I've had such a magical year winning the world champs and breaking my world record three times this year. So I'm really pushing to break the 60 metres and the world record.
Yeah, so that's the challenge then this weekend, then that 60-metre mark.
Yeah, I've been hitting it in training for the last 5 weeks. We've taken 5 weeks off just purely to focus on this competition because, this is a massive opportunity for me to, break the barriers down between disability sport and able-bodied sport and, show that I'm comparable with both. And I'm hoping for that 60-metre mark, if not a bit more.
Now it's 392 days to start the Paralympics, so not quite as neat a number as a year to go. But by the end of this month, the year to go mark for the Paralympics will be with us, and I'm sure that will be heavily publicised. So the excitement must be starting to build for you now.
Oh yeah, I was here just the other week, and this is the closest I've ever been to the Olympic Stadium, and it looks fantastic. And just the whole buzz around. All the news and media really getting involved and businesses getting involved in 2012, and it'll be the greatest show on earth, without a doubt, both Olympic and Paralympic. And I really hope that the public get behind the Paralympics because they'll see some exceptional sport.
Lawrence, moving on to you, much like Dan, your first Diamond League event, and I think it's fair to say that at the start of this year, you're perhaps going to be one of the best known names in British athletics, but that national record in the discus certainly changed that. How has life been for you since then?
It's been, obviously, it's been a big change in my life. I've been working hard all year, and the work is paying off. And I'm starting to get, my name out there, but it's all about the throne, really. It's all about doing well. And with Olympics around the corner, all these competitions that are coming my way, I'm grateful for them, and I need them to, make my progressions. And I'm sure that this time next year, the discus will be flying, I'll be flying, hopefully. Everybody here will be flying, and the country will be flying, and, we'll do well next year in 2012.
Yeah, things didn't go quite your way at the trials at the weekend, but a great chance to bounce back in front of your hometown crowd.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't have a good day. I've said that, and I've said all year that I'm very inconsistent, but I know I'm capable of a lot, and I know I'm capable of producing, big throws on the big occasion. It just so happened that I had a bad day, and I'm glad that I had, a bad day, because I've gone back and I've looked at myself, and I've, looked at what I'm doing, and I've questioned my technique, and I'm looking hopefully to push on and not just focus on this year and, you know, start to look ahead at next year, because that's a big goal for all of us.
As far as goals this weekend, Abdul, Harry and Carl Maskell obviously put their places in the David team at the trials. What do you think you have to do this weekend to convince the selectors that you're the man to go in the third spot?
Well, Charles has a huge decision. He's got two youngsters, two under-23s to choose between. We're both in the top 12 in the world. Brett's ranked 12th, I'm ranked 5th now. And we've both produced huge throws. So really, it's a coin toss, really. And all I can do is go out there on Saturday and, you know, do my best. And if it's not good enough, then I'm ready to get to work for next year. I'll take a short break and get back to work. And I'm really looking forward to the winter. It's going to be really tough. But that's what it's all about as an athlete. And I'll just see what Charles decides. But I'm happy with the year I've had. You know, it's been awesome. And hopefully next year will be 10 times better.
And either way, the fact that we've got 4 British men with the A standard really bodes well for Bell, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's incredible, you know, and I anticipate more people getting up there next year. You know, there's guys just below the standard. Chris Scott has got the B standard, and I think, you know, all of us will be pushing really hard next year and turn the UK into the, you know, best discus throwing country in the world. We've got Dan Greaves here, you know, world record holder, and we've got myself and Abdul, Carl, Brett. So it should be, everything should be, it's looking good for next year in terms of the discus.
Can I ask if there's any questions for the floor? If you want to raise your hand now.
Lawrence, you kind of touched on this already, but I was wondering if you said you had time to reflect on the weekend and maybe went on with your coach what possibly went wrong. Can you just expand on that a little?
Well, it's all technical, really. I could bore you with the details, but basically I'm you know, very raw in my technique, and if I get it right, it really does go, and I get it wrong, it really doesn't go. So I just got to find a good balance between the two. And with the winter coming, I anticipate becoming more consistent with, you know, just having more throws under my belt and more training. So this year's a bonus, really. I've done really well, obviously, but I've just got to look at myself technically and see where I can improve for next year, because, you know, that was my goal when I first started training last year, and it hasn't changed. So that's what I'm looking at.
Did Charles say anything to you at the trial? Has he said anything about the selection dilemma you've been in?
He's just told me to keep going. You know, he said to me I'm young, and you know, at 19, the fact that I'm mixing it up with, you know, these guys is great, and he just wants me to keep going in what I'm doing. And he's been really supportive, and I'm grateful for that. And, you know, if he doesn't choose me for next week, I'm not going to cry. I'm going to, you know, go back on the field and start throwing again. So it should be good on Saturday at the Aviva London Grand Prix, and we'll see myself and the rest of the discus throwers, you know, do the best that we can.
Thank you.
Anything else, guys? Okay, we'll break there. Broadcast 1-to-1. If you want to get yourself set up, I think we'll do